that aside, so I mean, Bitcoin versus other crypto. So Bitcoin is extremely unique. It came from a very special set of circumstances, not the least of which is that the founder of Bitcoin is not around anymore and was able to disappear while Bitcoin was relatively worthless. With all these other coins that are coming by, you basically have a team. You have a founding team. You have pre-mines, which means that people have a large stake in the network before it's fairly distributed. And ultimately, none of that even really matters because Bitcoin's worth $1 trillion or close to it. So now you have all this value, and you have this convergence on a single monetary network. Network effects, yeah. I mean, and network effects run extremely deep with Bitcoin. Yep. If you understand how money works, you basically you don't even have to understand how money works. You just have to say, okay, like, would I rather have $1 or a Venezuelan bolivar, right? Which one's going to be accepted by more people? Which one's going to hold its value better? That's what it comes down to. So if you're saying that tomorrow Bitcoin's going to be replaced by something else, you have to show how that something else is going to hold its value better than Bitcoin, how it's going to be more secure than Bitcoin, and how more people will accept it than Bitcoin. You're just not going to get there. It's $1 trillion worth of value. It's had 13 years to prove its security, and it continues to do so. And anybody who's coming up now trying to compete with it is, dead in the water. And yes, a lot of these cryptos, they pretend like they're not competitors, but they are. And look at how the markets function.
I was just going to say, I think that one of the narratives we hear all the time, but what about the next Bitcoin? What about if somebody else brings a coin out the same to compete with Bitcoin? I don't think they get that they're either going to have to go really, really fast and break lots of things and wreck people's money, or they're going to have to go slow and do it correctly, by which time they are never, ever in a million years going to ever catch Bitcoin. So they're the two scenarios, and none of them work.
I mean, it's it's not a repeatable situation. Bitcoin created digital scarcity. It is the only digitally scarce thing. You can't just create scarcity again. It's already scarce, right? So you can create another coin, and basically, what if they create another Bitcoin? Well, it's not a what if. They've already done it about 20,000 times. By my count, that last time I looked at coin market cap, there's like 20,000 other coins, and that doesn't count all the other shit coins and all the other shit chains that exist. I mean, there's hundreds of thousands of these things. They've tried and tried and tried for 13 years, and every time fundamentally the same problem happens. You cannot attract Bitcoiners to part with their Bitcoin. It doesn't make any sense. It is the scarcest, most secure asset, and it's going up in value. So how are you going to get people to part with that? It doesn't make any sense. And
look at the hash rate. Look at the hash rate of anything bar Bitcoin. Bitcoin's out there in the stratosphere in terms of its computing power. The nodes around the world that can be run on hardly any electricity at all. And hardly any data once you've downloaded the blockchain. My full node sits in the corner. I even forget it's there, apart from logging into my Umbrel. It just sits there, it purrs, and I'm doing my little bit to give me a bit more privacy and security and support the Bitcoin network. I can't see that happening with any other coin.
That's right. And, the other thing that Bitcoin is doing all over the world is it's not quite obvious for a lot of people, but it's solving a lot of problems in the energy markets too. It's coming up and soaking up all this extra demand or creating demand where there is no demand. So basically you have, like wind power in Texas where, there's not enough economic incentive to build it out. Well, now Bitcoin's coming in and creating that incentive. I talked to one guy at the Bitcoin conference who was from the Congo in Africa. And he actually built a solar power station down there to do Bitcoin mining and created the first power station for this village in the Congo. They had no power before, right? And gives them free power, and he mines Bitcoin. So like this stuff is happening on the margins. You can't even tell that it's happening. Gas flaring is another situation where Bitcoin's coming into oil fields and capturing flared gas that would otherwise be like venting methane into the atmosphere and stuff like that. I mean, it's solving all these problems for all these industries, where none of these other shitcoins are doing that. Like nobody cares about them. They're a complete joke, and they're there for people to trade and to make some money or to lose most of their money. If you want to gamble, that's cool. That's totally, I get it. I mean, I did some of that, but Bitcoin is a world-changing innovation. It's a freedom money, and it's going to change how we interact with people in the world. It's going to make us society a better society. It's going to make the world a better place. That's why we work on Bitcoin.